Hi everybody, my name is Michelle Sanigate and I am an astrologer. I have two YouTube channels. My astrology focused YouTube channel is Astrology Motivation, and I also have Born Without Boundaries Tarot. You're watching me either on TikTok, Born Without Boundaries on TikTok, or on Astrology Motivation on YouTube. And the reason why I'm coming on here is because I want to clarify. A lot of people are talking a lot of stupid shit about Pluto and Aquarius, and let me make it very clear. This is not, do you hear the people saying the rise of the people, the rise of the power of the community? That's not what it is. Pluto is going to clear out the toxins, clear out the grudge and the sludge. It's going to bring it to the surface, and it's going to make it eat away at anybody that created it. That's what Pluto does. It kills you with your own toxicity. All right? And it does it in order to clear shit out so that we can start over again. So you have to take a real strong look at what it means. Look at what Pluto in Aquarius was. Look what it really did 200 some years ago when it was in Aquarius before. It held kings accountable, and that was really the beginning of the end for the monarch or monarchies really ruling countries and empires. So, but why? Why? Because once upon a time, if there's a good king, or there was a good ruler, or there was a good chief, people didn't want to take them out. They celebrated them. It is because the monarchy had gotten so far from being worth everything that it was consuming. King George III was an asshole. The English people didn't even like him. It had gotten so decadent and overindulgent for somebody to be able to say, I deserve everybody else's work and everybody else's money when I don't have to, without contributing anything from myself. That was the toxicity. That was the mentality. And that's what all monarchs had adopted. And that's why they fucking fell. Now you look at where that mentality is today. And I guarantee you it's not in a king or a queen. It's in you and it's in me. And that's what Pluto's coming for. I read this quote the other day. It was a quote. It was a comment underneath a video that I saw on Instagram. And this was what it was. The guy was complaining about how his DoorDasher had complained that somebody didn't give them a $15 tip for delivering 2 bagels and a cup of coffee. And I said, this is why we're all coming down. Because we all think we're fucking kings. But not good kings that used to lead and rule and suffer with their people. And take responsibility for, what they had to do. And actually had to be good at what they had to do. No, we now live in a society filled with people. And this is where the twist is. Because I think you think, oh, I'm on the side of the person who's saying tipping culture is out of hand. Tipping culture is out of hand. But because culture is out of hand. Why shouldn't you have to pay $15 tip in addition to the DoorDash service fee? So $25 for 2 bagels and a cup. Why shouldn't you have to pay that? Why do you think you're entitled to not get off your lazy fucking ass and go out and get your own fucking cup of coffee and get your own fucking bagels? Why do you not see what an absolute indulgent privilege it is to have somebody delivering it to your doorstep, but you don't think they're worth a tip? I think every DoorDash order should be $100 minimum. And I don't mean what you're paying for the food. I mean what you're paying for the service, because it is that luxurious. It is that unnecessary. I bet that this motherfucker who didn't want to tip somebody else DoorDashing $15, I bet he had his own car. His own car that he didn't build. He probably doesn't even know how to change the fucking tires. The fuel in that car, he had his own fuel in that car. His own fuel that he doesn't know how to extract from the environment. He doesn't know how to refine it so it can actually work in his car. He doesn't know shit about that stuff, but he had it all in his garage, but he didn't want to use it. He wanted somebody else to use their fuel and their car to go pick him up a coffee that he didn't produce by himself. I don't think he probably doesn't know how shit about coffee beans or how to refine them to make coffee, to make the coffee that he's drinking. He didn't make the cup that the coffee's being poured into. He probably doesn't know how to make bagels by himself. He sure as hell didn't harvest the wheat and grind it to create the flour and put together the eggs or however the fuck people make bagels. He didn't do any of that stuff. Once upon a time, if you wanted to eat, you had to grow your own food, process your own food, cook your own fucking food, and store your own fucking food. None of us even have to do that today. The fact that we are so overindulgent, like the kings from 220 years ago, that we are so far removed from what it is to actually be human and what our real responsibilities actually are, that we can sit up here and say, why should somebody expect a $15 tip for delivering me a cup of coffee and 2 bagels? Because you could get off your fucking fat ass and go get yourself your own goddamn coffee and bagels. You already have everything else taken care of for you. You didn't have to make the bagels. You didn't have to make the coffee. You didn't have to put it in the packaging. You didn't have to build your car. You didn't have to harvest your fuel. You didn't have to do any of that shit. All you have to do was get in your fucking car that you didn't fucking build with fuel that you didn't fucking refine and go to the fucking coffee shop to pick up food and beverages that you didn't fucking make and bring it back home. Do you not see that if you are so indulgent and you are so privileged that you have somebody, when you have your own car and your own fuel, you get to use somebody else's to deliver it to your doorstep, so you don't even have to get up and go to your Mr. Coffee maker and make your own, brew your own coffee in the morning? That you should be paying top dollar. You should be paying top dollar because it is so unnecessary. But the fact that you think that you are entitled to have that kind of service, who the hell are you? It's just like all of us on our phone. I am talking into a phone now. I don't know about the technology. I don't know how it works. I wouldn't know how to build a phone. But I sit here and complain about how much I have to pay for it. I was raised in the 80s. I know, I've experienced life. I know I don't need this to live. But now I have it and it's an indulgence. Why shouldn't I have to pay top dollar for it? Because I know I don't need it. We have so convoluted everything that we do not need. We feel entitled when we do not contribute. And I'm telling you right now that Pluto in Aquarius, that's the energy that Pluto comes for. And you don't have to have a crown on your head or billions of dollars in the bank for it to come for you, because it's not about that. It's about the entitlement. It's about the undeserving. The highest state of Aquarius is not community or rebellion or ingenuity. It's truth. And where the truth is not, Pluto is going to rip you apart. So you better get real quick and get real right with yourself and look yourself in the fucking mirror and stop feeling so goddamn entitled, because that's what Pluto in Aquarius is coming for. Entitlements. FYI.